Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
It's time! 17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan, open. Chicago with the lead. Harper got a piece of it. It comes off. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship.
Tying run at second, 2 out. Palmero over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws, out! And the White Sox have won the World Series.
To the far side around the 8-yard line to Hester. Under it and to the middle at the 15, to the 20, breaks free to the 25, to the 30, to the outside, 40, midfield, 40, 30 to the coast, 20, 15, Hester 5. Oh! Touchdown!
Toward Bryant. He will glove it toward Rizzo. It's in time. And the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome to Shawn and Maya in the morning on this House Music Monday edition. I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. Thanks for tuning in. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, well, then I guess you found us on Facebook. And if you're not following us on Facebook, what? Go to Facebook, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the like button. Now you're following Sports Zone Chicago. Make sure you follow, if you follow us on our YouTube channel, excellent. And if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, for real, come on, listen. Go to YouTube, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the subscribe button, but also click the little bell, and that's the notification button, and that'll let you know anytime a show from Sports Zone Chicago is going live. You get it? You got it? Good. Now, if you're watching this on our mobile app, please don't tell me you didn't know that we had a mobile app. What is wrong with you? Come on, we have our own mobile app. So listen, wherever you get your apps from, you go there, whether it's iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Walmart, Kmart, 7-Eleven, Zayre, Zemsky, Macy, Montgomery Ward, Venture, Woolworth, Weebolts, Gold Blast, wherever you get your apps from. You go there, you type in Sports Zone Chicago, you download it, you take us with you on the go. So not only do you get Shawn and Maya in the morning 3 days a week, not only do you get our other live shows throughout the week, and not only are they archived there like they are on Facebook and YouTube, but I'll tell you what, we give you a slew, and I mean a slew of articles. Thanks to my man Clarence Council III. Big up to Clarence for keeping you abreast of all articles Chicago sports related. Now, if you're watching us on our Roku channel, well, I like that kind of party, baby. Man, and if you don't know, you better ask somebody. Come on, man. Sports Zone Chicago, we have our own Roku channel. We have our own Roku channel. So listen, if you have a Roku television in the house, do us a favor. Download Sports Zone Chicago's channel right to your television. Right there. Right over there. All right, I'm from Chicago. My Chicago accent, right there. Right there. These, them, and those over there. All right, put it right there next to Netflix, Hulu, HBO, Max, no, HBO Plus, Prime Video, Disney Plus, Max, Stars. Oh, yeah. What's starting? Power Book 2 starting next Friday. I'm excited for that. The final season, which is going to be pretty long, but I like it. Paramount Plus, Peacock, all of them. Just download it, put it right there next to all of them, and you can watch us on the big screen. Hell, we're on the big screen, right, Mickey? Vicky, now. Now, you can also tweet the show. You can tweet us at SportsZoneShy. That's CHI at SportsZoneShy. Now, if you want to follow me, just me personally online, you want to know what I did? Well, let me tell you what I did. I made it nice and easy for you folks. Nice and easy. One handle for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok, all one handle at the Shawn Sierra. If you want to follow my lovely co-host Maya Akai, you can follow her on Facebook and Twitter at the Sports Chica. If you want to follow her on Instagram because you're an IGer and you do it just for the gram, we'll just follow her at Maya_Akai. It's MAYA_AKAI. We have a phenomenal show, but I need you to get interactive. So listen, whatever platform you're watching us on, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, or our mobile app, leave a question or comment on that platform. It'll come up here in the thread. We'll put it up on the screen, incorporate it into the show. And that, my peoples, is what makes this the best Chicago morning sports talk show around. And that's you. All right, so bring them all, baby. Keep them coming. All questions, comments, smart-ass remarks, because ain't nobody scared over here. I like the Rock said, baby, don't sing it, just bring it. Let's see who we got in the chat, because the chat is jumping like crazy this morning, and I like it. I like it a lot. My man Cornelius calls early. Bird gets the worm. What's up, Cornelius? What up? Mr. Shorty is in the house. Good morning, Papa. Thank you for tuning in. My man Armando Emeterio. Lara. Junior, my man Junior, my personal protector. Junior's in the house. Jay Grizz is in this mother hubbard. Hell yeah. Jay Grizz is in here, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Brew Hot 7. Good morning, baby. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. But Sean Walls, that's what I'm talking about. Yay, yay. Man, speaking of house music, Michonne, man, I was at the House Music Festival, the Cicero House Music Festival on Friday. Man, you know, let me see if they can let me play this. Let me see. You know, it was, man, I was dancing like a dancer, boy. I'm telling you, I was dancing like crazy. It was so fun. You know, I hadn't been out house music is something, you know how it is. You know how it is. You know, house music is something that you feel. You don't necessarily listen to it, you feel it. You know what I mean? And wow, it was awesome. I had a really my man Caveman was there. Who else? Gene Hunt was on the ones and twos. Man, he was snapping. Where'd they go? Yeah, Gene Hunt was. It was wild, man. It was a great time. I'm trying to. Yeah, I think I might have. Yeah. I'll get my guy K-Man up there anyway. It was. Let me tell you, it was one hell of a time. Speaking of House Music Monday, so said Jay Grizz, Shorty. Who else? Rashawn. Everybody exchanging pleasantries in. Bus stopping, baby. They had to break the Cabbage Patch out, man. They don't know. They don't know about that. Them youngsters don't know. They think they know, but they don't know about the Cabbage Patch. Now we had to do a little percolator. We had to do, we had some little footwork. Lavette Lee, good morning, Ma. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Michonne, I do have videos from there. Let me see if this one plays. Overlay. Let's see if it plays. No, this was my guy. Oh goodness. That was my guy. That was actually just a picture. So, you know what? They're not allowing me to. They're just giving me pictures when that's why I can't find it. Aha. You know what? I'm going to send it to Steve. Steve, I'm going to send you a video or two and just put those up for me if you want just put those up for me if you don't mind. I appreciate it. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'll send them to Steve. He's gonna put them up in this. Man, it was such a good time. And you know what's really, really cool? I still don't trust me. I still keep an eye out. You know what I mean? I still am aware of my surroundings. I'm still aware of and looking to see what's going on from where. You know what I mean? But there's no nonsense going on. You know what I mean? No nonsense going on. No fights. No one was talking shit. No one was squaring up. No one was representing. No gang stuff. It was great. It was great. Let me tell you. And I had a good time. And the crowd was a lot. It was a really weird mix of people. There are a lot of youngsters, 22, 25. All right. Then you had a lot of people my age who could be their parents. I ran into one of my friends, Mary Lou. Big shout out to Mary Lou. I haven't seen her in a while. Seen her maybe since last summer, or couple, or maybe 2 summers ago. Anyway, I ran into her. She was with her niece. So it was crazy, the age disparity, the age gap, or the wide gap, the wide range of ages that were there, which was dope. So I had a good time. Plank's in the house. Good morning, Papa. Thank you for tuning in. Oh, cool. You were able to get Ken on for June 20th. Good stuff. Good. I'm glad. Glad it worked out. Glad it yeah. Good stuff. I gotta delete this. So it was a good weekend. Had some family stuff. Hope you guys had a really good weekend. Hope you're able to spend time with some family, friends, loved ones. There was a lot of sports to talk, but man, you always got to make time for family. And I just found out yesterday that my cousin Shorty, Melissa, Shorty, his daughter, Melissa, his son, Frankie, his mom's grandma, so his grandmother passed away. So it's his grandmother on his mother's side passed away last week, and yesterday was the wake. Today's the funeral. Man, first of all, she passed away at 97. So man, it was a great run. It was phenomenal. She got to see a lot, almost 100 years of life she had, and that was great. So when I saw him yesterday at the wake, he wasn't as sad. He said, man, he goes, she lived 97 years. He said she was very fortunate. She was surrounded by people who loved her. After 97 years, there's not a lot. She lived a full life. So he was happy. And but even so, like I said, just remember, tell your loved ones you love them. You just never know. You could be at 97, you could be 47, 37, 77. You don't know when your time, when the sand runs out of the hourglass runs out of sand. All right, on your life. So make sure you let your people know, okay, that you love them. So I had a pretty busy weekend, dinner with family. So I hope you guys were able to get something like that in as well. Because we're gonna get ready, kick it, and talk about sports. All right, at 10 o'clock, my man Herb Howard from the Bigs is going to join me. We're going to talk Bears. All right, Caleb came back and had a great day on Thursday. Everyone was going crazy. Oh, Caleb's back, Hall of Fame, Bears Super Bowl. Yeah, but all the DBs are gone. The Bears defense is gone. All right, Jalen Johnson had a camp out in California. So Jalen Johnson, Kyler Gordon, Quan Brisker, Tyreek Stevenson, a lot of those guys were there. So Caleb did well against the backups. We're going to talk to Herb Howard, though, about that. We'll get his take on Hard Knocks, his take on the Hall of Fame game, a whole bunch. And, when me and Herb get together, man, it's going to be fun. It's definitely going to be fun and entertaining. So make sure you grab your popcorn for that one. Herb Howard at 10 o'clock. But let's kick it. Let's get it started, baby. Let's cue up MC Hammer. Let's get it started. Oh, see, some of you guys don't even know about that MC Hammer, man. Come on now. Let's get it started. Guys, you know how we do the first segment of every show. It's called Top of the Morning.
It won't come just when you want it. Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you.
Let's see, the first top of the morning topic. Which way do we go? Which way do we go? Which way do we go? How about this? How about on a crappy note? The White Sox. Oh, Lord have mercy. The White Sox, they fall to the Brewers 6-3 yesterday. They dropped their 11th straight. Nick Nastrini, he got the loss. He's 0-5 on the season. He went 4 innings, 3 hits, 4 earned runs, 3 walks, and a punch out. Paul DeJong was 1 for 2 with a homer, his 9th of the season, driving in his 19th and 20th runs of the year. Gavin Sheets was 1 for 4, driving in his 22nd RBI of the season. 11 in a row for the White Sox. Not very good. After the game, well, during the game, this spilled into after the game. Tommy Pham. Okay. Tommy Pham, recently signed by the White Sox. Had some not so nice words. He had to be restrained from catcher William Contreras. That's Wilson Contreras' brother. He was not happy with the celebration Contreras had. Pham was thrown out at home by a mile. All right, by a mile. It wasn't a bang play by any stretch. All right, Contreras was waiting for him, caught the ball, swiped, and got a little too fired up. Got a little too fired up for Tommy Pham. A little too fired up. And he went after him. Let's take a look.
Here's the throw to the plate. And he's out. And Contreras is barking at him. Tommy Pham barking back. He's not backing down. He doesn't like that. And now home plate umpire Edwin Jimenez has to hold back Pham. Nah, we ain't taking that. We ain't taking that from the Brewers. I don't care how many L's we got this year. We ain't taking that.
Now they're holding back Tommy Pham to make sure that everybody cools down. I mean, it was a clean play on all sides, well executed. You've got to take a gamble there. Maybe the throw is off the mark. For whatever reason, William Contreras decided he was going to give Tommy Pham an earful. Might be the wrong guy to do that too.
Might be the wrong guy to do that too. Tommy Pham had some NSFW, not safe for work, post-game comments. Here's what he said.
One-run ball game, close play at the plate, and actually it wasn't even fucking close. It was a shallow fly ball to left field. You would expect the left fielder to throw the base runner out on that play, but the situation of the game, third base coach sends you, you got to go. I'm nailed out at home by a mile. I'm going to the dugout, and I hear the tough guy with all the hoorah shit, so I'll never start anything, but I'll be prepared to finish it. There's a reason why I do all kinds of fighting in the off season, because I'm prepared to fuck somebody up. So you can take it as what it is.
Pardon our French, Tommy Pham. Woo. Man, it was, and I get it. The issue is this. Contreras got a little too fired up. Okay. And believe me, I'm definitely not one to say, don't or hide your emotions. Do not show your emotions. No, I get it. All right. Sports are a passionate event. Okay. Especially when you're playing them. Oh my goodness. Okay. But there's certain times when it's okay to get fired up, and other times when they're really not necessary. I don't think that time was necessary. All right. Tommy Pham didn't try and run him over. There's nothing malicious about what Tommy did. He slid in the home. He knew he was going to be out. He got tagged. He popped up. It's still kind of tagged home plate, regardless. But William Contreras decided to start barking. Well, some people don't like that. Some people don't like that. Tommy Pham is one of them. And he did not hold back. You heard the expletives. He was ready. You saw him on the field. He was just like, he's ready to bop. So sometimes you can do too much. And I think William Contreras did too much. Personally, I just think he did too much. You know? But we'll see how it plays out. We will see, because I don't know if I don't think we play them again. So interesting. And let's not get it twisted. The Sox have lost 11 in a row. Tommy Pham is frustrated. The White Sox are frustrated. All right, any little chirping from an opposing team, it was going to set you off probably a lot sooner than it most likely would in a normal situation, because you've lost 11 in a row. But that's not their fault. That's not Milwaukee's fault. Okay? That's your fault, White Sox. Okay? That's your fault. You got to stop that losing streak. Trust me, you stop that losing streak, there's not a lot of yapping going to be going on for Milwaukee. Okay? You got to start winning. It just, yeah. Jay Grizz, just like his brother, trust me, as a Cub fan, the Contreras talk a lot of smack and love to show off. They do. They do. Yes, they do. They do. DC's in the house. Derek, what's up, Papa? Good morning. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, the Contreras are very, you know what? They're very passionate, dude. They're very outspoken. They're very loud. They're very combustible. You know? So, anyway. Next top of the morning topic, the Cubs. There you go, baby. The Cubs. There we go. What are you doing? What are you doing? The Cubs fall to the Reds 5-2. They dropped that series. Ben Brown got the start. He got the loss. He's 1-2 on the season. He went 5 innings, 6 hits, 5 earned runs, a walk, 6 punch outs. Cody Bellinger was 3 for 4, hitting his 10th double of the season, driving in his 27th RBI on the campaign. And Bodie drove in his first RBI of the season. I hope you weren't expecting help from us, Cub fans. Hope you really, truly weren't expecting help from the Sox. Because if you were, you were greatly disappointed. Greatly. But the cool part is tomorrow, the Cubs, they host the White Sox in the first Crosstown Classic of the year. And see, this is the thing that really pisses me off. Baseball has really screwed it up, in my opinion. Okay? It used to be in June and July. Okay? So we're in June now. That's fine. But it was a weekend set. It was 3 games. Last 4 years, they've cut it to 2. 2 here, 2 at Wrigley, 2 on the south side. I think that sucks. And they've been in the middle of the week. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? To me, that's the biggest waste. I'm extremely annoyed by that type of scheduling from baseball. Extremely annoyed. A weekend set would be perfect. Friday, Saturday, matinee, Sunday. You could do Saturday afternoon, Sunday afternoon, Saturday night, Sunday afternoon. Like, come on, man. So now we only get 4 games instead of 6. Not been a big fan of that scheduling the last couple of years. But the first installment of the 2024 Crosstown Classic is Tuesday. Cubs got to be looking for a sweep. Cubs cannot afford a split, or God forbid it get swept by the White Sox, because people like me will be ignorant. I'll be ignorant toward Cub fans. I rephrase that. we'll be more ignorant toward Cub fans than normal. That's what we're gonna do. That's what we're gonna do. Oh my goodness. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Interesting to see how that plays out. Well, listen, let's take a quick break. All right. On the other side of the break, we'll finish up with top of the morning topics. All right. So don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
Move it!
Many will hear the calling. Few will earn the title. United States Marine. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
How do you take care of your mind health?
For my mental health, I meditate in the mornings.
I have my dogs. They're the best.
I just find ways that help me just relax.
Finding things that make me happy, like being close to my family.
I meditate a lot and read books.
I have hobbies outside of the game. I'm able to switch off. I'm able to turn my brain off from the game of basketball.
Your mind health matters.
Your mind health matters.
We are looking for a few heroes, mentors, trailblazers, innovators, a passion to change lives, spark curiosity, open hearts, and awaken minds, help students answer the question, who am I? This could be your calling, but this is no job. It's the journey of a lifetime. Be a hero. Be a teacher.
Mental health and learning disorders don't discriminate. 17 million children and adolescents in the United States live with disorders like anxiety, depression, ADHD, and dyslexia. Less than half get the help they need to thrive. Help the Child Mind Institute change these children's lives. Visit childmind.org.
And hit a homer. Pops this one to center. And Bellinger pulls it in for two. Line drive, that's a base hit. And that'll score one. Suzuki around second, on his way to third. Trading places, and a run scores. Cubs are on the board, it's 5-1. Back to work. And that's through the left side hole and a base hit. So a promising start to the Cubs sixth. That'll get through. Wisdom will stop at second. And back-to-back hits.
And David Bodie ready to step in.
Bounce, De La Cruz. Shovel to India, run scores, throw to first, not in time. But Wisdom comes home, but some damage control, 2 outs.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Those Cubs courtesy of the Marquee Network. Those were your Cubs yesterday. Your Cubbies with a 5-2 loss. Next top of the morning topic, the Sky. This is a very highly anticipated matchup. Unfortunately, the Sky fall to the Indiana Fever, 71-70 on Saturday. Man. Kennedy Carter, she had 19 points. Marina Mabry, 15 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists. Camila Cardoso making her season debut with 11 points. Did I get that wrong? I think I might have got that wrong. Hold on. I thought she had more than that. I must have made a mistake. Cardoso. No, 6 rebounds. I thought she had more. All right. 11.6 rebounds for Camila Cardoso on her first day back. And Angel Reese, 8 points, 13 rebounds. All right. You know, there was that was a tough one. Marina Mabry was at the line with under 10 seconds to go. Sky down 2. Misses. She splits the free throws. And hence the Sky lose by 1. That was a tough one. That was a tough one. There was a lot of passion, a lot of energy, a lot of a lot of emotion. There we go. That's the word I'm looking for. A lot of emotion. Okay. And it's understandable. Remember, Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, you know, they went back 2 years ago, or last year, excuse me. 2 seasons ago, not this past season. When Angel Reese and the Louisiana State Tigers beat the Iowa Hawkeyes in the women's final. If you remember that. And that's where Angel Reese was like, "You can't see me," gives her the John Cena. Also points to the ring finger. That whole deal. And they adds to the drama. Okay, that adds to it. Well, speaking of this, they were mad. Obviously, the Sky was upset. Okay. And the next top of the morning topic, the game was marred by a flagrant foul at Kennedy Carter on Caitlin Clark. People calling it a cheap shot. I guess you know what? Yeah, it was a cheap shot. There's really no need for it. No need for it. But here's the one thing. Let's not get it twisted. This is sports. Okay. And let's remember, Caitlin Clark talks shit too. Let me get this down so we can get this squared away. Caitlin Clark talks shit too. All right, let's not get it twisted like, oh, they're coming after Caitlin and blah 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 blah. All right, Caitlin she talks her shit too. Now, it might not be as much as it was in college when she was the big dog. Okay, but she still talks her shit. So let's not get it twisted like she's perfect and everyone's just picking on her. Okay, there is jealousy, no doubt. There is a sense of you must prove yourself, rookie, no doubt. And I think she took it a little too far. I think she was. I need to probably see it again. Let me watch it again. I thought, yeah, it was unnecessary. Don't get me wrong. I'm not advocating Kennedy Carter. Kennedy Carter. I'm not saying what she did was. I'm not advocating for her. I'm not giving her excuses. I think Caitlin fell or was trying to get a foul call, and they're not giving her the foul. Let's see.
And Clark. I mean, that's clear, which was called. The question is, will they call it unnecessary? Kennedy Carter.
So, yes, that was unnecessary. But it was an acting job. You want to know how it's an acting job? She hits her in the hip. If you get hit in the hip, your upper body is not going to fall back. Your whole body will move. But if we'll watch it again, when you get hit in the hip, your upper body isn't the first thing to go because your whole body is being moved. So she bumps her in the hip. Again, not called for, not a basketball play. So I'm not condoning anything Kennedy Carter did. But Caitlin Clark was trying to get a foul, which deservedly so. But I think she embellished. She didn't really have to because there was not a basketball play. But just watch her upper body.
And Clark. I mean, that's clear all which was called. The question is, will they call it unnecessary? Kennedy Carter.
So she's still got to deal with all this stuff. I get it. I understand. It's the rookie, a highly touted rookie, and I do believe there's some jealousy, but there's also pride involved. All right, I think a lot of WNBA stars are saying, "Hey, man, you were the shit in college. Great. It's not the WNBA. It's not." And they have pride. Okay, they want to show that they're trying to make a name for themselves as well. Okay, because Caitlin Clark has come in. Immediately she's the face of the WNBA. Okay, her, Cameron Brink, Angel Reese. Okay, this whole rookie class all of a sudden are the faces of the league, and a lot of the veterans might feel a certain way about it. Understandable. All right, you're gonna get that. You're gonna get a little extra for rookies. It's not just you, Caitlin. It's everybody. You saw what they did to Angel Reese. They threw her down. Okay? So it's not just you. Okay? All rookies are going through this. All of them. Let's see. What are we talking about? Oh, yeah, that was a cheap shot. All right. But it wasn't as bad. If you notice, Caitlin Clark could have stayed upright. But she, as I told you, first her whole body moves and then her upper body falls. Like, come on. Well, I get it. This is the LeBron era. This is the acting era. I get it. Okay, cool. But Skype got to do better. They're James, good morning, Papa. James Ford in the house. Good morning. King Booker World is in the house. Good morning, baby. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Hey, see Adam joining us this fine morning. Plank is in the house. Man, I told you, some of the usual suspects. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And then to make things worse, next top of the morning topic, Angel Reese, watch her. She gets fined $1,000 for not making herself available to the media after the game. Like, you got to understand, Angel, if anything happens in the game, good or bad, media's going to want to talk to you. Whether you're involved or not, they're going to want to talk to you. Talk to your boy Caleb. All right? You guys are from the DMV area. They always want to hear from the star. You're the face of that team. In addition, the Sky, as an organization, got fined $5,000 for failing to ensure that their players follow WNBA interview protocol or policies. So remember, you're losing $10 million to $12 million a year to WNBA. Teams are losing the same, or not the same, but the teams are losing for the most part. You can't be getting fined $1,000. You can't be costing your team $5,000. Now, mind you, it might be okay, no biggie. I got endorsements from, Nike, from Gatorade, from here, from there. $1,000, you ain't jack spit. But when you're causing the organization to lose money, And I know it's only $5,000, but still, this is money that they're not making. This is money that they're losing. So they got to do a better job. And the Sky have been very poor. If you read about it, many different articles have talked about their public relations needs to be better. Okay, it needs to be better. And it does. All right, it does. They got it. You know, you have to. You got to be available. People want to talk to you. They want to get your perspective. They're asking. Many of them are asking what the fans want to hear. Like you had that whole situation. Remember, you're the face of the Sky. They're gonna want to hear from you, Angel. They're gonna want to. Right, wrong, or indifferent. This is what they're gonna want. All right. So hopefully this is a learning experience for you, and realize that you're going to be, you're going to be asked to talk a lot about stuff that you may not even have been involved in. Might not even have been involved in. Okay. But c'est la vie. That's how it goes. All right. Well, moving on to the next top of the morning topic. The NBA Finals start on Thursday in Boston. So Boston has a home court advantage. Start on Thursday, 7:30. The Dallas Mavericks take on the Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics are in search of their 18th NBA title. 18th NBA title. Boston, as I mentioned, is in a no-win situation. They were picked by many pundits before the season started to win the NBA title. So if they win it, not a lot of hoopla will be made from the media because many picked them to win it. And if they lose it, a lot of hoopla will be made by the media because they were picked to win it. Damn if you do, damn if you don't. But it's going to be a tough series. Dallas has two closers. All right, Luka and Kyrie. Dallas has two closers. Many teams don't have one closer. Okay. Boston has two closers. Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. Okay. This is good. This is going to be quite the series. I'll talk about who I'm going to pick later on in the week. Probably Wednesday. I'll decide who it is, or I'll let you guys know who I think is going to win this series. Excited about it. I don't really follow basketball much anymore. I'm just not a big fan. Yeah. Yeah, we mentioned it, King Book of World. We mentioned it. So it's not just Caitlin Clark who's getting the business, the rookie business. Yeah, we talked about Angel Reese. And it's a physical league. It's a very physical league. You got to remember, as I said, these women have pride. They're professionals. They may still be a little salty from all the attention that this rookie class is getting, is what I'm thinking. But I digress. Back to the NBA Finals. It's going to be good. I'm fired up about it. I don't know who I have. Actually, I do. But the more I think about it, the more my decision wavers and fluctuates. It's back and forth and back and forth. I like Luka. I like Kyrie. Still a little annoyed about him. And that's just me being petty because Kyrie seems like he's grown up a lot. Okay. But then Boston. The one thing I don't like about Boston is the fans and how their fans say we have the most titles. And I says that's true. But just not forget, you also had played in the league. You won your titles when there was a league of 6 teams, 8 teams. All right, no free agency. So so basically it's the same team every year. You add a couple guys in the draft, but nothing crazy. And believe you me, I heard all about it going to school out in Massachusetts. I heard all about it often. Often. Shorty, I disagree with you. I disagree with you. They're not as bad as Packer fans. Yes, they are. Yeah. They're worse. They are worse. Okay. The entitlement that Boston Celtics fans have. Yeah. And that was coupled with, for a while they were intolerable. Thank goodness I was gone when the Red Sox won 3 World Series. Okay. Thank God I was gone. I definitely wouldn't have been able to live it down. Then the Patriots were on their run for 20 years. Okay. The Bruins won a Stanley Cup. So Boston was at some point, they were intolerable for a while. They were definitely intolerable. Because the Patriots were in it they went to 10 Super Bowls in 20 years. 10. Damn should have won 8 out of the 6. But yeah. They're worse. I in my opinion, they're definitely worse. Just New England fans, the Boston fans. Yeah, they're just, they just prepped for playoff football, which they knew they were going to every year, except the year Tom Brady tore his ACL. Okay. And the Red Sox, their rivalry with the Yankees was AC Adam. F Green Bay, F New England. Oh, that's classic. Well, the last top of the morning topic before we welcome our guy Herb Howard. The Stanley Cup final is set. Game 1 is Saturday in Miami. The Florida Panthers welcome the Edmonton Oilers, and the Edmonton Oilers are getting there for the first time with Connor McDavid. Now, if you don't know who Connor McDavid was the next best thing. He is a superstar. He's one of the faces of the NHL. Okay. 8 years in the league now. This guy was amazing. He was, when he came out, he was what Connor Bedard was this year. He was the dude. Every 4 or 6 years, you'll get one of those dudes. Oh, shish kebab. You know what? I can't believe I forgot to send that to Herb. I can't believe I forgot. Herb's like, hey, man, where's the link? Oh, man. He's that dude. And this is the first time he's getting to the Stanley Cup finals. And people are happy. Edmonton is happy. This is, reminds me of a lot of Oiler fans of the dynasty. All right. Now, some of you, if you're not into hockey, you might not remember it. In the 80s, man, it was something. Gretzky, Messier, Marty McSorley, Yard Curry, not Yard Curry. Grant Fuhr was the goalie. Great, great stuff. And they're getting back to that. Just watch this. This is the move. This is Connor McDavid. Look how, just watch. This is nasty.
Get you thinking, okay, where's he going to put it instead? Right around Haskin.
One more time. Look at how disgusting that is.
Get you thinking, okay, where's he going to put it instead? Right around Haskin.
He drags it. He goes between both defenders, freezes the defender, backhands it, puts it where Mama puts the peanut butter on the top shelf for the goal. This young man is nasty. Connor McDavid is nasty. And he's finally playing in his first Stanley Cup Finals. And hopefully, it won't take us 8 seasons, but hopefully Connor Bedard will be playing in the Stanley Cup Finals in the next 3 years. That would be phenomenal. That would be phenomenal. Now, depending on how fast the rebuild goes, all that good stuff. All right. Well, listen, let's take another break. All right. On the other side of the break, we're going to welcome my guy, Herb Howard. He covers the Bears for the Bigs. And we're going to talk a lot. We got a lot of Bears talk to discuss. A lot of Bears talk. Okay. So don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Uh-oh.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
Time out. How are you feeling right now? Happy? Excited? Angry? Overwhelmed? One of the best things you can do for your mind health is to name what you're feeling. It can sharpen your awareness and help you talk about your feelings with someone you trust. Here are 3 questions to ask yourself. Where are your thoughts right now? In the past, the present, the future? Do you notice any sensations in your body? Is your heart beating fast? Is there a flutter in your stomach? Or are you fully relaxed? What do you need right now? Time with others? Time to yourself? Remember, there's power in this awareness. So find ways to identify what you're feeling today.
Hi, guys. Hey. Hi, Megan. Hey, Jessica. Megan, you're a tramp. Ryan Fitch told me you guys made out. Everybody knows. He said your breath smells like garbage. And he almost puked. He says you're the most desperate girl he knows, besides your mom. How many boyfriends does she have anyway? Lots? Your makeup makes you look like a clown. That zit is huge, zit face.
Hey, bud, what you doing?
I'm playing with cars.
Cars? Can you show me what a car does? Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on a second. First of all, this is a school zone. So you need to put down your cell phone, stop texting, and let's get to driving. Now you're coming up to a stop sign, right? You need to slow down and stop before you hit that Y line. I want you to look left, right, left. You don't want to get hit by a car going on your left, and to your right to make sure you don't get sideswiped by a guy coming from your right. You're coming, and you see a crosswalk. You better slow your horses down, because the #1 rule of driving is always yield to pedestrians. Now stop, pull over, and you are done driving. Gosh, what do they teach you kids in school nowadays?
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of the Chicago Bears and their PR department, their media department. Yeah, that was from rookie minicamp. There are a couple other later ones, where Caleb hits Rome Odunze over Tyreek Stevenson and some other good ones. But it's good. It's just good to see them playing catch. It's good to see them going against a really, really, really good defense. And, you know, when Caleb had the rough day and, you know, a whole bunch of other media, oh my God, the sky is falling, the sky is falling, the sky is falling. Caleb's a bust, cut him, you know, arrest him, throw him in jail, throw him under the jail. Like, relax. It's OTAs. It's OTAs. It's okay. They're not even in full pads. And people are mad. People are mad. Not taking into account the fact that he's going up against one of the best back sevens in the NFL. Caleb's a bust. Caleb's this. Caleb's that. Caleb. Come on, man. Be smarter than that. Then he comes back then he comes back on Thursday and man has a good day. And everyone's like, oh, he's back. Okay, woof. Oh my, Caleb. MVP, Bears Super Bowl, Caleb Rookie of the Year. Oh man. Relax. It's not that serious. All right. Learning his development isn't linear. It's gonna have ups and downs. My guy, my next guest is gonna talk about it because he's there at OTAs. And he's going to let us know if Caleb's going to the Hall of Fame after that practice on Friday where most of the DBs are missing. So, guys, you know him. He's a good friend of the program. He's been rocking with us for a couple years now. He's my guy. Let's welcome. Well, first of all, you can find him on Twitter at HerbHoward411. Let's welcome our guy, Herb Howard. Herb, what's up, Papa? How are you?
Shawn, what's happening, brother? Appreciate you having me.
Man, glad you're able to make it. And so have they fitted Caleb for the gold jacket yet after that practice on Friday?
Last week he was a bust, you know. It's just last week
Earlier
he was a bust.
Week, yeah.
This week he's a Hall of Famer, you know. So it's you know, it's an interesting little roller coaster ride that some people are on. You know, I'm not riding that roller coaster with him. I think he's gonna be fine. It's going to be some good days, going to be some bad days. The Bears have a really good defense, especially like you said, that back seven is elite. And they're going to take advantage of that rookie. But not only the rookie quarterback, you're talking about an entire team learning a completely new system. You got a lot of new players at key positions, and then they're being led by a rookie quarterback. So it's going to take this offense some time. I know everybody's excited about the weapons that they have. I am too. You look at DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Rome, Cole Kmet, Gerald Everett, you know, DeAndre Swift. Like, it's a lot to be excited about, but it is going to take some time for that offense to kind of come together and to gel. And I think that, you know, going into the first month, maybe even the first full half of the season, the defense is going to have to carry the load, you know, for this team until the offense is able to find its foot and get on the same page and get that rhythm going. Okay. I'm glad you went there. I was going to go there a little later, but since you went there, let's do it. I did kind of go far. My bad.
No. It's because my thought was this: I don't know if the offense is going to take that long because one, it's not a lot of new concepts, maybe terminology, but there's a lot of still West Coast stuff in there, which is fine, and a lot of guys played in it last year. You know, Caleb's. But my is that Caleb. Talk to me about your thoughts. Caleb has had this offense for a while now. He's been working on drops, he's working on cadence, working on footwork, working on a lot of things prior to him even being drafted. So all the stuff that he was supposed to have learned in OTAs, a lot of it was taken care of prior. Mm-hmm. Okay. So he came in ahead of the game, which is good. Then you got the Hall of Fame game, which means they get to practice earlier. Then their first 10 weeks, first 9 games. Not a lot of world beaters. All right, not a lot of people who will make you pay. Because there's some teams, look at later in the year, obviously Green Bay, San Fran, you make a mistake, you're going to pay. You know, I think their toughest is the Houston Texans. Mm-hmm. Do you think that this offense could be pretty efficient by the end of that easy schedule? And the easy part of the schedule, I say the easy part of the schedule ends week 10 with the Patriots because they have Washington, Arizona, and the Pats. Do you think the training wheels could be off at that particular point because of all the things I said? Caleb having early access, early practices because of the Hall of Fame game, easy schedule, guys and teams that may not be able to take advantage of you as much as the back end of the schedule. Do you think that maybe by week 10 that they could kind of be slinging the ball a lot more than they are week 1, 2, and 3?
Yeah, I think by that point in the season, that's when I would expect them to kind of be firing on all cylinders, to have this thing kind of rolling really well. Granted, they're healthy. I think that having the schedule that they have is beneficial. Obviously, I think that Caleb Williams comes into as good a situation as any number 1 overall pick has ever walked into. And so all of those things will benefit them. All those things will give them a chance. But I think they're going to need that kind of lighter schedule early, because I still think it's going to take them some time. I just think, getting used to playing with one another, DJ Moore and Keenan Allen getting used to running routes next to each other. When do I break? When do you break? When do I cut under? When do I cut over? Those type of spatial things that just kind of happen. As you get more accustomed to playing next to guys. I know what the route says. I know how it's drawn up on paper, but then it's how it's actually run on the grass, and then finding those rhythms and those little, nonverbals and how they just kind of sync up and play off each other. Those things will take some time. It'll take some time for Caleb to get used to the nonverbal communication with his receivers, to read their body language, to understand, okay, I can kind of look and see when DJ is open, or when this is going to be back shoulder, when it's going to be front shoulder, when he's about to come out of his break. Those types of things will just naturally take some time, and they're going to look a lot better week 9, week 10 than they will week 1 and week 2. And I think it's a very, very good thing that they have the defense that should be able to hold down the fort until they're able to start, putting up 35, 38 in a game. I don't expect that to happen too frequently, too soon. There may be some just because the schedule is light, but I think it's going to take them some time. But I do think it's benefited Caleb to be able to understand where he was going early, get a head start on the playbook. I think he works hard at it. He's obviously uniquely talented and gifted. So he's got a chance to come out and play well early, but I think it'll take some time.
Are you happy with his struggles early?
I just think it's natural. I won't say I'm happy or not happy about it. I just think it's to be expected. He's a rookie quarterback. I don't give a damn how good he is, or he won the Heisman. He's number 1 overall pick, and I know he's the most highly touted prospect since Andrew Luck or whoever. I get that. But it's just going to take some time. It's the National Football League, man. It's not a game. These dudes are for real. You know what I mean? You're looking across the field. And you're seeing, it's for real, right? You're looking across the field and you're seeing dudes with a lot of skins on their wall. Jalen Johnson and Kevin Byard. And those guys, they've been doing this for a minute. And so he's not going to just come in and dominate against this defense and, just at this level. So I think it's natural for him to have some of those struggles. He's going to have some good days. He's going to have some bad days. That's just the nature of the business. And so I think what I am happy about is that the Bears have this defense for him to go up against, right? If they didn't have a good defense, I wouldn't like that as much as I like the situation that he's in right now. Having that good defense is going to allow him to be tested early. He's not going to play a defense better than this until that later part of the schedule that we just got done talking about. None of those first 10 teams have the defense that the Bears have. The Houston Texans have a pretty good defense. That'll be a test. But other than that, the Bears are far and away the best defense that he's going to see until later in the season. I think that's a really, really good thing for him. I think he'll be tested. And by the time the season comes along, he should feel like almost relieved to go out there and play week 1 as opposed to playing against the defense that he sees every day in practice.
Yeah, I got into a little disagreement with some people, because you and I are in the same boat. I know it's tough to believe. Because I said I want him to fail. I want him to fail gloriously. Oh, you're just a hater. You're this and this. I'm like, well, obviously you don't know sports.
Right.
I said, you don't know jack spit about sports. I said, because the more he fails in camp, the more he fails in 7-on-7, the more he fails in OTAs, the more he fails. I said, guess what? That's part of his learning process. That means the more he's failing now, that means the closer he gets to succeeding. Okay, because if he succeeds now, first of all, we'd have an issue with the defense. Like, oh, hold on. This rookie coming in, tearing up with it, learning a new offense with new players and everything, and he's tearing up this back seven that is so elite. If that was a situation, I'd be really, really worried. But it's not. These guys are picking on him. And I mean that in a good way. All right, they're making it difficult for him. They're making it tough for him. And like you said, once you're able to get to be successful with these guys, first string there, not at Jalen Johnson's camp.
Right.
Then you're going to start being, you're going to have, what that's going to do for a lot of things. It's going to give him confidence. More importantly, it's going to give that offense confidence. It's going to give that defense confidence, because they'll say, you know what? We made him. This is part of us. His success is because of us, because we were on him. So I've said it, and people got mad at me. I'm like, you just don't understand sports. And I said, fail miserably, gloriously right now. Even in the preseason game, I don't give a damn. All right, fail. I want you to learn to go through this, and that's why I asked you that question with the training wheels, because now you're getting all the stuff is kind of pushed. He's advanced. A lot of things he doesn't have to worry about. Now we just got to worry about the game. Now he's got to worry about you don't have to worry about the packages, the route combos, all this other stuff. A lot of that was working. They were working out in California before he was even drafted. All that stuff, and I hope in me, like I said, I don't mind. All right, if he has more games, more practices where the defense picks him off, cool. Shane Waldron, the one thing that we heard about him was teacher. And if you're a teacher and you're a coach, you want them to fail. So now that is the best experience you could ever get, is failure. And so I want him, because I'm a Bears fan. All right, I want the Bears. You and I want the Bears. We want him to hold the Lombardi Trophy in a couple of years. All right, so we got to get through this now. And this, the best way to do it is that way, for him to fail gloriously. And I hope he does. And I think he understands it too. He's not, no one's getting upset. He's not getting upset about a bad day. You know what? It's a bad day. It's all it is. Tomorrow's another day. So I think it's going to be okay. And I just hope he continues to fail, because if he fails, that means he's learning. And man, before we know it, man, this kid with these weapons and this offensive coordinator, they're going to be a big time Mickey Ficky problem to a lot of people coming up this year. And I can't wait for that to happen. And it could happen sooner than later. Are you okay with the O-line?
No, not yet. I think potentially it could come together and it could be a pretty solid unit. I don't think they're going to be an elite unit, but they could be a top half of the league unit. And I think with their weapons that they have, that should be enough for them. But even that has to come together. That interior of the offensive line is a huge question mark right now. They're fine at tackle. Everybody knows with Darnell Wright, the trajectory that he's on. I think I've always been pretty good with Braxton Jones. I think the Bears are as well. They've got some options behind him at swing tackle, whether that's Larry Borum or it's Amagaji or whomever. I think they're okay on the outside, but the interior, it's got some questions there, man. I know Tevinjenkins, when he's there, when he's healthy, he's a really, really good player and a difference maker in the middle of that offensive line, but his health is always a question. Nate Davis, not only his health a question, it's getting to the point where his desire is even starting to come into question. And that's not something that you ever want, as a football player, is people questioning your desire. And so it was good to see him back on the sideline. Last week, Thursday, he was out there. He wasn't participating. He was kind of on the side trying to ramp up and get back, into playing shape. But they need those two guys to be in the lineup. They need both of those dudes to play 14, 15 games. If they can get that out of those guys, then it'll be fine. I don't know that you're going to get, 29, 30 starts between the two of those guys. And so then you have to question the interior depth that they have and what's going to happen at center, right? The assumption was Bates was going to be starting. Well, last week Shelton was in there starting. At least the practice that we got to go see, Shelton was in there. And so that seems like that's going to be a bit more of a competition. It's kind of going to play out throughout the summer, and it just doesn't give you enough time to get that cohesiveness with the center and the quarterback. Got a rookie quarterback. You want to have those things kind of solidified. The worst thing that can happen to any quarterback, rookie or not, is pressure up the middle. And you want to get that, kind of sustained as quickly as possible. So I think I got some questions about the interior of that line. It could come together and be just fine. And then one of those guys will take over the starting spot at center. And then the other guy will be an interior depth piece that can play all three interior positions, especially if you talk about Bates being that guy. So I like Jatari Carter as well in terms of the depth piece at guard. So it could be fine, but they've got some questions that got to get answered right now. And I don't know how long that's going to take.
Yeah, I'm hoping. And one of the guys talked about Shorty talked about he anticipates Tevin being healthy in the contract year, and I hope he is. I hope he is, because we all know what kind of a beast and a monster he is. When he's healthy. So What about Nate Davis? He hasn't been back. I mean, we don't know. But I'm praying that it's not a situation similar to last year where he had his mom was ill. You know what I mean? I hope it's not. But it just doesn't seem like he's there. Doesn't seem like he's. I don't know, and I'm getting this feeling that's just from here, and I'm not there like you are. I just get this feeling like he's not there. Like if that was, and I'm looking at it for me. If that was me, like my next year, I'd be there all the time. Like, you wouldn't be able to get. I have a spot at Hallis Hall. You know what I mean? Except to go home and hang out with the wife for a little bit. You know what I mean? But other than that, I'd be at Hallis Hall, just showing my teammates I'm here. I'm ready. Last year was an anomaly. Okay, but near here, you can count on me. I'm 10 toes down. I am where I'm at, and I'm at Hallis Hall. Are you get any weird feelings about the situation with Nate?
Yeah, I think everybody is because of how things went last year. Now, obviously, he was dealing with the loss of his mom, and that's a tough situation for anybody, and you certainly understand that. I don't think his mom is going to pass away again this year. So, I mean, I don't
not.
Like, you know what I mean? So I think that it's natural to just kind of have these concerns about, his desire. You heard some of these things coming from his former head coach out in Tennessee. He's like, we like guys to practice. And, he didn't do a whole lot of that consistently last year. So you start to concern yourself, and then you get to OTAs and he's not there. At least the first time that we had the chance to go out there. And then the second time or the third time he was there, like I said, on the sideline, but it was just nice to see him out there at least. And so you hope, they got mandatory minicamp this week. We'll be out there tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, and hopefully, he'll be out there and participating, and that'll be a good step in the right direction. And hopefully camp comes around and pads come on and he's out there, consistently day in and day out, and he's able to get that chemistry with Darnell Wright or whatever side he's however they're gonna do that things. There is some people think that Tevinjenkins may end up playing on the right side this year, and we'll see how they choose to shake that out. Right, that's up to SEMO, Coach Morgan on the O-line, but however it goes, they need those guys in the lineup. And so I think everybody's a little bit concerned about Nate Davis just because of how last year went. And hopefully he's ready to answer those questions and play some ball.
I hope Tevin moves to the right. And I know Nate has only played right, but for $30 million, you might have to move to the left and, maybe even explore some other option, because it's the second year, your third year. That tandem of Tevin and Darnell Wright on the right side of the line that might be illegal in some states. It could it could be borderline illegal in some states, and then running 12 and 13 personnel.
Yeah,
come on, man. That could be it. Guys, we're joined by Herb Howard. He covers the Bears for the Bigs Media. We're talking Chicago Bears football here on Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. So the big news, man, the bombshell dropped last week, and that was why media couldn't be there. How are your thoughts on the Bears being on Hard Knocks? It's going to put it's going to shine a very, very, very bright interrogation light on this franchise. Obviously, Caleb Williams is going to be most likely to be the focus. There's also going to be other storylines as well. You got the Arlington Heights deal, the Bears Stadium deal is going to be in focus. You're going to have position battles are going to be in focus. Are you excited? Are you happy that they're going to be on Hard Knocks?
I got mixed feelings about it. As a fan, I love it. I love the show. I think it's great. It gives you great access to the team. I think they do a phenomenal job with the show and that unprecedented access that they get. As a reporter, I'm a little bit of a hater, not on them having the access, but just I'm concerned about how that's going to impact my day to day. You know what I mean? At Hallis Hall, how much space are they going to take up? How much is that going to change and alter? What happens for the regular beat reporters that from the experience that we're used to having. So I have a little bit concerned about that selfishly, but I think it's a great thing for the fans, and I think it's going to be a really, really interesting show. I'm certainly going to watch every episode of it, and I look forward to seeing, some of those behind the scene things that even we don't get to see sometimes. So I think it's going to be really, really cool. But selfishly, I'm like, can they do the show without actually being here? Excuse me.
Well, you might have to. You got to have to be lined up. You're going to have to be G'd up, man, because they might catch you on the sideline. In panning, let's go here, let's pan here, pan left and right. Oh, snap, there's Herb on the sideline. I shoot, So you got to make sure you're G'd up, and you got to coordinate. You got to coordinate your outfits when they're there.
I mean, I'm always coordinated, but man, you see me out there. It's hot. I throw on my little shorts and my t-shirt, a bucket hat or something, call it a day, man. I ain't worried about no HBO cameras, man.
What are some of the storylines you think? Obviously, we know Caleb is going to be one, but what are some of the other storylines you think that HBO might focus on?
Yeah, I think that's going to be interesting to see. I think they'll focus a lot on Shane Waldron and that offense as a whole coming together. I'll be interested to see, how he teaches, how he looks in the classroom, how he commands a meeting. Those types of things will be interesting to kind of see on there. Same thing with Flus. We haven't had an opportunity to see exactly what that looks like. I think we understand a little bit more about Flus and who he is, but I think that'll be another storyline as well. I'm interested in just the overall structure, the day-to-day, what it looks like between Kevin Warren, Ryan Poles, Coach Flus. I think that'll be some of the things that go on. But as far as the players, they got a lot of elite level talent. And that's not something that we've said around here a lot, right? You look at Montez Sweat, he's one of the best DNs in the league. Jalen's one of the best corners in the league. You got two guys that are two of the best receivers in the league, and then you drafted another guy in the top 10 there. So they've got some talent. And I think those will be some interesting kind of battles. I look forward to seeing the competition in practice too, right? Some of those guys will be mic'd up, and you'll get to hear some of that stuff, some of that chatter on the field. I mean, we're standing on the sideline at practice. You can already hear. I mean, this defense, they chirp, they talk. You know what I mean? They got high energy. They make plays, and they tell you they made a play. So I'm looking forward to kind of what that will look like. But I also think it'll be cool to see Caleb. I know. That's going to be a big storyline. I think he's kind of built for this type of thing. So I think it'll be interesting to see his ups and downs, just how he handles that, how he kind of ingratiates himself to his teammates. I think it's going to be a really, really cool thing to see. I'm looking forward to each episode.
So apparently it looks like he did bring Hollywood to Chicago.
Yeah. Listen, there's a criteria for, what teams are eligible to be chosen. The Bears were one of those teams that fit the criteria. A couple things are you can't. It has to be a team that didn't go to the playoffs last year. It can't be a team with a new head coach. So it's limited. What teams are even available. And then you look at those teams, and the Bears far and away have the most intriguing storyline just by having the number one pick, Caleb Williams being who he is, but also the Bears being an intriguing team, having been 7-10 last year. This wasn't a 3-14 team. This was a 7-10 team that should be in the playoff hunt this year. So very intriguing. A lot of star power on this team, which is, not all that common around here. It made a lot of sense for HBO to pick them. Plus, it's Chicago. It's the third biggest market in the country. It makes a lot of sense for them to put them on there. I know the Bears didn't want it. Certainly, George McCaskey has been, vocal about not wanting it. I don't think any NFL team really wants people behind the scenes kind of going through their dirty laundry and all of that. But they've been chosen. I think they'll do the best they can with it.
You literally led me right into my next question. Do you think the Bears agreed to it, and that was and Kevin Warren may have had part in it, or do you think the NFL said, "Look, deal with it, because this is what we need. There's too many storylines here. This is what we do." Because the NFL, when the NFL wants to do something, they don't give a damn. They're going to do what they're going to do. They already took over the Lord's Day on Sunday, so if they could take over that, they could do whatever. But give me your thoughts. Do you think they might have said, "Hey, listen, Kevin Warren," and talk to Kevin Warren and use him as the instrument? Because a lot of people think, even one person in the chat, like this looks like a Kevin Warren thing. All right. Or do you think the NBA, they said, "Hey, you know what? Do it the easy way. We can do it the hard way, but you're still getting Hard Knocks." Because we know the Bears were adamant about not being on Hard Knocks.
Yeah. I don't think the Bears ever wanted to be on there. I don't think George McCaskey, Kevin Warren, Ryan Poles, Flus, I don't think any of them wanted to be on Hard Knocks. But like I said, it's only a few teams that are eligible for it. If you went to the playoffs, you can't go. You're not eligible. So that's 14 teams already that can't go, right? 14 teams went to the playoffs. They're not eligible to be on there. Then how many new head coaches were there? Were there like 7 or 8 of them or something like that? That had new. There's a lot of head coaching turnover. So those teams also are not eligible. And then the remaining handful of teams, you're talking about who has the biggest market, who has the most intriguing storylines. The Bears have both of those far and away. So it just made a lot of sense for the NFL and HBO to pick the Bears. And I don't think they give a damn what the Bears thought about it. You know what I mean? Now, obviously, the Bears do have all the teams have, final say in terms of editing, right? What actually goes out, they get to veto some things. Say, hey, don't put that out. But in terms of being chosen, they don't have, and then they can do. You know what I mean? We coming. So, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is.
Yeah, I felt that the NFL might have said, hey, listen, we're going to ask you, but we're really not really asking. It's just kind of a formality. I just think the NFL wanted it, and it makes sense, right? Like for all the reasons you mentioned, Caleb, and coming to a mediocre team as opposed to a god awful team, and the defense, and it just made a whole lot of sense. And I like you, like Bears Nation, I'm excited. Part of me, and I have the conundrum as well. As a former player, I would hate to have those things in there. Hate it. But also now, since it's there, though, if you're a player, you can be marketed. Like, who do you think might be able to take advantage of it? Like, I think Kyler Gordon people might get a good look at Kyler Gordon and be like, oh, snap, look, okay, Spider-Man. It could get a lot more people familiar with him, people who don't know him, and maybe more marketing opportunities for him, or for some of the other guys when it's all said and done.
They got some great dudes in that locker room, man. They got some really good dudes in that locker room with nice personalities. I think the country is going to grow to love guys, like you said, Kyler Gordon, Jalen Johnson, Jaquan Brisker. I think the country is going to get a look at those guys, and they're going to grow to love these dudes. DJ Moore, really cool dude, really funny dude.
Yeah.
I think a lot of these guys are going to take advantage. It's here, right? It ain't nothing you can do about it. The cameras are going to be there. Y'all going to be on national TV every week. It is what it is. So some of the guys will kind of avoid and leave it alone. And some guys will take advantage of it. Some guys will take advantage of it and use it to brighten their own star. And I think that'll be a good thing for some of these guys. I think the country's going to get a really good look at Jalen Johnson. They're going to be very, very impressed by the person that he is, the player that he is, the leader that he is in that locker room. And I think it's going to be a really good thing for him as well. So I think a lot of guys will kind of take advantage of it. Some guys not like that. You know what I mean? Some guys I don't expect Montez Sweat to be heavily featured in it. Obviously, he's a dominant player. They're going to want to, but just at least in that first year, kind of watching him move, I don't think he's a guy that's going to be, front and center on no cameras and all that. So, but some of the guys absolutely will. And I think that when the country gets a chance to know some of these guys, they're going to love them.
I hope so. You know what? I'm really fired up about it because I am a huge Bear fan. I want the country to see him. And you know what? And I want the country to see us because of the situation. Yes, we didn't make the playoffs last year. All right. But damn well we were a middle of the road team, and with a couple of non-monumental non-monumental collapses or monumental collapses. Without those, we could be 10-7 pushing a playoff berth. Right. And then to bring in a rookie quarterback, with who he is and his personality to that team, I'm really excited, man. It's going to be really, really fun. Talk to me about the defense real quick. You and I have mentioned it before, but as it's getting closer, I'm starting to have more and more love and feeling a lot more and more for Eric Washington and what he's going to do for this team that people are not even going to really, they're going to say, oh, he's taking a step forward. He's taking a step forward. We're all expecting Gervon Dexter to take a step forward, maybe Andrew Billings, maybe even Booker or Marcus Walker. But if they do take a step forward, it's going to be because of Eric Washington. Talk to me about what you expect Eric Washington to bring to those guys as the season draws closer, because I'm getting by the day, I'm getting more and more excited about Eric Washington coaching this defensive line.
Yeah, that may be the sneakiest addition to this team. Everybody's talking about, the Keenan Allens and Caleb's, and that's cool. But bringing in Coach Washington is going to really, really help this defense. His expertise on the defensive line specifically is going to help them in a place where they need the most help. That's where that defense needs the most help in terms of getting some of those players to the next level on that defensive line. They were not able to answer all of their questions or fill all of their holes, on the defensive side. And I think a lot of people wanted them to address the 3-tech. But listen, the Bears thought they did that just last year. They just invested a 2nd-round pick and a 3rd-round pick with Gervon Dexter and Zach Pickens. And so, they're hoping that they already have those answers on the roster. And I think that Coach Washington is the perfect person to kind of get them to that next level. You look at Gervon Dexter, he came into OTAs. You can tell he's put the work in terms of physically. He looks leaner. He's clearly he's just a huge monster dude in the first place. But
Yeah.
he looks leaner, which is going to allow him to play a little bit quicker, should be a little bit better for his conditioning, and hopefully it allows him to play lower. Now, getting low at 6'6", whatever he is tough. But, if he can play with better pad level and have a little bit more explosiveness off the ball, that's going to help him in this penetrating defense at the 3-tech. So Coach Washington's going to get the most out of him. Obviously, we wanted to an addition at the other end spot opposite Montez Sweat, and that still may come. They still may go out and re-sign Yannick Ngakoue. That still may come as well. They obviously drafted Austin Booker, and then you got DeMarcus Walker already there. So I think that Coach Washington is going to absolutely get the most out of that unit. Whatever those guys have in them, he's going to bring it out of them. And so I think he's a really, really good addition to this unit. I think he's a great person for Coach Flus to have as a resource when he's off doing other things. He knows that Coach Washington is fully capable of commanding his defense, calling the defense if he needs to, but specifically getting the most out of that group up front. And so I think that's going to be a really, really good addition to this team just by adding him to the coaching staff.
You've been there, so give me your thoughts on Austin Booker. I like him. I think he's, personally, I thought he was a one-trick pony for this year. He's got a lot more talent. And I'm not saying that that's his only thing, but I think this year, but he gained a lot. He's been in the weight room since we last saw him. I definitely noticed that. What do you think his role will be and could be by the end of the season? Because I just saw him as a specialist because of his ability to get to the passer, but he might. What do you see? You've seen him out there. You've seen him with the added weight he had since the end of the season. Can he be a 3-down guy, or is right now? Do you think it would be just for him and a team for him to be a list, or what? What are your thoughts on Booker? Because I like him paired and being coached with, not just being coached with, but being coached with in your formative years of the NFL by Coach Washington. That's huge.
Yeah, all I can tell you right now is what he looks like, physically. We'll obviously know more once the pads come on. You get to see him actually rushing against Darnell Wright, rushing against Braxton Jones, Larry Bourne, just NFL tackles, right? And then we'll be able to know more about the full scope of his game. Does he have the ability to use his speed and turn it into a bull rush, right? He doesn't have the brute strength just yet, but just his sheer speed, you get the tackle on his heels, then you can go straight through his chest. Does he have counter moves to his speed? Can he get upfield, get a spin move back to the inside? Can he get that first step up the field, jump back inside? So those are the types of things we can't really tell until the pads come on fully. But looking at him, he looks the part. He looks very, very athletic. He's extremely long. He uses his arms well in terms of creating distance and separation from the tackles. He's got a good first step. He's got long legs. It's almost weird how long his legs are.
Yeah. Long limbs, period, man. He got long arms too, bro.
Yeah, he's just a real wiry, long dude. And so you got to see how he uses those things, right? You got to see how he uses those things in terms of leverage and pad level and those types of things. But I think he's a guy who can come in and should be able to help them. I don't view him as a 3-down in, not right now, but they don't need him to be, right? You got DeMarcus Walker that plays the run really well. So he's going to be your first, second down guy opposite Montez Sweat. But then on third down, when DeMarcus Walker kicks in and you take Billings off the field, now you can bring in Austin Booker, and can he have some production? Can he take advantage of the one-on-ones that he should be seeing? Because you expect Montez Sweat obviously going to command his double team. Hopefully Gervon Dexter is still getting in there and creating some pressure from the inside. And so it should leave him out on the island one-on-one a lot of times against those tackles. And can he use his natural ability? And then can he be coached up, like you said, by Coach Washington to get some counter moves, some technique things, some hand placement, those types of little details that make the difference at this level. If he can do those things, then he could be a guy that comes in and helps them on third down. And he could be a guy that finds himself with half a dozen sacks or so, given the opportunities. Now, again, that'll depend on, what it looks like not only when the pads come on, but also if they do bring in a guy like Yannick Ngakoue, because then that's going to limit, some of his opportunities. But then you talk about having like a NASCAR package, and do they kick, Yannick inside, or can they kick Montez inside and have Yannick and Booker on the edge? Those types of things. So if they do bring in Yannick, that'll give them a lot of different options to kind of move guys up and down that defensive line. But I think you got to like what you have in terms of the prospect. Now, he has to be molded in terms of Booker, but you got to like at least that lump of clay that you have with him. He's got a lot of traits that you can work with.
Again, guys, we're joined by Herb Howard, who covers the Bears for the Bigs Media, talking Bears football here on Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Coach Eberflus, how soon, and I think I asked you this before, as this defense gets more and more comfortable playing with each other in OTAs, and how soon do you think at all that he's going to give it up the play calling and kind of be the CEO? I for some reason with Coach Washington, because he's a phenomenal resource, former defensive coordinator, so it's not like he can't do it. He's done it already, Or do you think he's going to keep it like this is his baby and he still wants to hold it through the rest of the year? Because what are your thoughts on him just finally giving up play calling? At some point mid to toward the end, later part of this season on the defense.
Yeah, I don't really foresee that, and I don't really want him to. I think Flus did a phenomenal job when he took over as play caller of this defense. I thought the defense was playing backwards in the first half of the season. I thought they weren't really utilizing their strengths, being the back end, and then sending extra pressure to help the front four. They were trying to let those guys get there on their own and dropping as many people in the coverage as possible when the back end wasn't the group that needed help. It was the front. So they needed to start sending TJ Edwards and sending Kyler Gordon and sending Jaquan Brisker. And you start to see Flus do those things with great timing. I thought he called the defense really, really well. And so I don't foresee him handing that over. I do think that he will use Coach Washington as a great resource. I think he'll lean on him. I think there will certainly be times when Flus wants to give his attention to something else, and he'll say, hey, you call this series, I got to go talk to this guy, or I got to deal with this, or I got to find out what Shane Waldron is doing or what he's thinking or whatever it may be. I do think it's great to have Coach Washington there. I think he trusts him. I think he knows he has the experience to get the job done, and I think they see the game very similarly in terms of what they want to do with this system. So I think it's great that he's there, but I don't think that Flus is going to hand over the play calling anytime soon, unless something happens where it's just not working out or whatever. But I think that Flus did a really good job at calling the defense last year, and I don't foresee him handing that over too soon.
You can't touch my baby. That's my baby. Hey, I ain't mad at him. I ain't mad at him. Let's look at this. The first half of the schedule I talked about earlier is a lot easier than the second part of it. All right, week 10, first 9 weeks are a lot more forgiving, let's put it that way, than the second half. Man, you got the division champs, the Lions twice, which we handled well, but now you're in the second year of you got OG Ben Johnson as the offensive coordinator. I thought he was going to be gone. I was praying he was gone. You saw Justin Jefferson just got a $750 trillion contract in Minnesota. You got the Niners. All right, that's a lot more daunting than the first half. Let's look at the first half. You're Tennessee, Houston. Give me your thoughts on what do you see just from this alone. What would be an okay record? What's the best record you see the Bears could have in their first 9 games, and what would be the minimum?
Sure.
All
right. Well, let's go. Throw it back up there if you will. We can go through it. I mean, they should beat Tennessee at home. They should start 1-0. This is the best case scenario now, right?
Okay.
And then I'll give you worst case scenario. But best case scenario, they beat Tennessee at home. They can go to Houston and win that game. I don't know that I'm going to pick them to, but they certainly could. So best case scenario, they can go out there and win that game. They should beat the Colts. They get the Rams at home, Panthers. They should win all those games, like for real, right? Yeah. The only game I have legitimate concern about is the Houston Texans game. And so even in the worst case scenario, I don't see them losing more than 2 of those first 8 games, first 9 games going all the way to New England. So I think they have a really good chance at being 7-2, 8-1. If they're less than 7-2, certainly if they're less than 6-3, and you talk about maybe they lose to Houston or maybe the Colts get them, I don't know. I'm having a hard time finding 3 losses in those first 9 games. And so if they get, 6-3 or less, that's really, really tough, because now you're talking about getting into that second half of the season where you got the entire division schedule, right? The entire division schedule is there. You got the Niners in there. Seahawks going to Lambeau again week 18, which I am sick of them doing that. I'm tired of them putting that Lambeau game week 18. Like, I don't want to go to Green Bay January 5th. It's gonna be cold and it might
Cold
be
as hell.
snowing. I don't want to drive up there. I don't want that. Stop doing that. Stop putting that game that late in the season. It's not cool. I know they would like to put the division games, on the back end so they have all this intrigue as the playoffs come closer, but I'm sick of that. But no, man, that front nine, as you look at it, it's really hard to see them losing more than a game or two in those first 9 games. And so, they should have a pretty good position, coming out of those first 9 games before they welcome, Green Bay to Soldier Field in November 17th. So they got a chance, man. They got a chance to get out to a really good start. And if they take advantage and they're sitting there and they're 8-1, coming out of their first 9 games, then you go, to those last 8 and you got a chance to really make some noise if you can win those division games. They outplayed Detroit twice last year, right? We know they only won once and they collapsed on the other one, but they outplayed them twice last year. They went to Minnesota and beat them at their crib. So this is a team that should position themselves pretty well after those first 9, and then you find out what they're really made of on the back 8.
Bro, I'm telling you, that is crazy. You literally said exactly what I said. I am trying very hard to find a third loss in there in that first 9. And I look at it and I'll give the Texans, okay, maybe. All right.
Yeah.
Indy, maybe. All right. We don't know how good Richardson's going to be. He got a redshirt year because he was hurt. How is he going to come out after looking at the game from a different perspective all year? And, is that going to help him? Is that going to catapult him, or the Rams? Like, one of those 2 teams are the other loss that I would give them. Other than that,
it's hard to find it.
It's really difficult for me. And I'm like, I think the only other one that would be difficult or possible would be the London game, just because of the travel. Jacksonville's always there. Even though they want to fondle flight attendants, whatever they like doing over there in Jacksonville. But I can't. You said it. I said that a couple times. Like, I can't find. I'm struggling to find a third loss. You go into week 10. All right, 7-2.
7-2.
The confidence level of this offense is going to be through the roof. The confidence level in this defense, because of the offense, is going to be through the roof.
And that buzz really in the city.
It's going to be, us 7-2 going taking welcoming Green Bay to our house.
The buzz in the city would be crazy.
Man, that would be so from our lips to God's ears, because I'll take 7-2 in that first, but I honestly see 8-1 or in a long stretch. I just don't want to be too much of a homer. I could see them winning all those games, but I'll just say 8-1 or 7-2 is where I'm gonna go.
Yes,
knowing that
8-1 the absolute worst for that. But the absolute worst should be if they find themselves 5-4, they messed up, right? So they messed up somewhere. But if they're healthy, 7-2 is realistic, and 8-1 is on the table for them.
Yeah, and that would be, man. This town will be going nuts. So this town will be going freaking insane if they're 8-1.
For real.
So, hey, Herb, great stuff as always, man. I really appreciate it. Derek Carter says 7-2 as well. Let's go. I'm more than comfortable with 7-2. I am ecstatic with 7-2 because we'll be vying for the division title at that particular point. So
they'll certainly be right there. It's hard to assume that somebody else in the division is going to be better than 7-2, right? Somebody else is going to go 9-0, 8-1. Like they'll be right there in the hunt, and then all the division games are on the back end. So you got your opportunity to go. It'll all be in front of you, right? Whatever you want to do, whatever you want to make of this season, it'll be in front of you after week 10, and it'll be up to them to go see what they want to do. What's going to happen when Green Bay come in? Can you make a statement in that first division game and say, hey, Green Bay comes here and you take care of business? Or is it going to be the same old, Packers come and rip y'all in y'all own crib? So that's going to be a huge game. They should be sitting at 7-2, 8-1, and welcome in Green Bay, and they should be ready to make a statement that, hey, we are legitimately here to take the North and never give it back.
What do you think? What if it goes sideways?
Whew.
How soon do you think that major changes are made? I don't think Flus will be fired in the year, not at all. But I'm saying if they lose, let's put this back up there. If they lose, all right, you for some reason you lose to the Texans, lose to Tennessee and the Texans, and now you're 0-2 on the road in Indy.
Bad business. Bad business.
And then you're looking at Indy and LA, and now because all of a sudden at that point LA looks a lot more daunting if you're 0-2.
Oh
than
yeah,
if you're 2-0 or 2-1. How do you think this situation How do you think the fan base and the media are going to deal with a 0-2 or 1-2 start? How do you think the coaches are going to deal with an 0-2 or 1-2 start? If that's a big if, it goes that way.
No, listen. I know we expect it to go the other way, but it's a legitimate possibility that the Titans come in here and play a tough, hard-nosed football game against a rookie quarterback, make enough plays, and steal one from you. They're not coming here and beating on them. They're not going to come in here and run away, but they could come here and steal that game, and then you 0-1 and you go to Houston Texans, and you're going to be the underdog down there, right? And you don't come back with a win. Now you're sitting there 0-2 on your way to Indy, and this thing could go sideways quickly, right? Now you're sitting there maybe 1-2 or you 0-3, and then you got the Rams coming here. It could get bad. I mean, they started 0-4 last year before they got themselves together. But if it starts that way this year, listen, the fans are going to be relentless in terms of calling for people's jobs, and the boos are going to be loud, and all that's going to be happening. I like you don't think that they'll fire Flus middle of the season, but I think all of the calls will be out there. It'll be in the newspapers. It'll be on the radio. It'll be, on all the shows on the internet. So I think that pressure could get really, really loud. It is critical for them to get out to a good start, because if they don't, the back half they had last year where they went on that stretch, that ain't happening this year, right? We just saw that. We see the back end of that schedule. So if you come out of that first 9 and you 4-5 or something like that, you can cancel it. It's over with. You can cancel Christmas. They're done. And then he's definitely going to get fired at the end of the season. So
and then it'll be a repeat of the last 2 quarterbacks we had.
Yep. They have to get out to a good start. They have to win that first game. Most importantly, they got to beat Tennessee when Tennessee gets off that bus here. They got to beat them because going to Houston and beating that team, that ain't no easy task. They got a good defense. They made some huge signings in the offseason. We know they got a really good quarterback. So that's not going to be no easy task to go down there and beat them, man. What DeMeco Ryans has going on right now, he's building a real program. They're going to be contenders for a while. So that's not.
Was that Odell Beckham signed there? Did he go there?
Did they sign him? I don't know. I know they signed Danielle Hunter and you know what I mean? Like
Danielle Hunter, that's right. That's right. He's from down there. He's not too far from there.
They got a legit team that they building down there. So I don't think the Bears are going to be favored in that game.
Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson?
Yeah, it's a
Holy
problem.
I just thought about that. Damn.
That is a problem for both of your young tackles and your rookie quarterback. So, that's going to be a tough challenge for them to go down there and get that win. Now, if they do, they're going to be sitting pretty and riding high at 2-0. But if they lose that game to Tennessee and then you go down there and you're not favored to win that game and you're staring at 0-2, that's a much different feeling than 2-0 or even 1-1. So they have to get that first one. And if they don't, this thing could go sideways really, really quickly. And then the calls for his job are going to get extremely, extremely loud. And if Ryan Poles doesn't, then people are going to start questioning him as well. Although I think he's pretty safe because the moves that he's made, but it's going to get really, really loud if this thing falls off the rails quickly.
Herb, as always, great stuff, man. I appreciate it. Do me a big favor, though. Let everyone know where they can find you and your work online.
Always a pleasure, man. Thanks for having me. You can follow me on Twitter at HerbHoward411. You can follow my work at It's the Bigs as well. Always a pleasure to sit here and chop it up with you, man. Thanks for having me.
Man, thanks for coming on, bro. I appreciate it. We'll talk soon, all right?
Yep.
Thanks. Guys, that's Herb Howard who covers the Bears for the Bigs. Man, what if it does go off the tracks? What if it does? I mean, what if there's a late fumble or a pick You know, everyone's so quick. Well, Caleb never threw an interception on 3rd or 4th down. Well, what if he does? He starts his NFL career and throws a pick on 4th down. They go down and kick a field goal and win. And then you go to Houston. Fan base is going to be a little frustrated. You go to Houston. 0-2. 0-2. You go to Houston, then you go to Indy. And remember, Indy's a wild card. We don't know about Richardson. All right, he was injured just about all of last season. Does he come back and have a phenomenal season? All right, we saw Patrick Mahomes sat, not due to injury, but he sat. And again, when you start looking, and let me explain something to you. Remember when Justin Fields got injured and he was looking at Tyson Bagent and he was able to look at the game from a different perspective. He came back and played very well the segment after his injury. When you have a whole season like Anthony Richardson did, to watch yourself on tape, all right, your first couple games, then to watch another quarterback on tape, break it down, figure out, see what you think you would have done. Okay, I would call this. I would have called this. You look at it differently. Here's where the mental part of the game is so profound. Okay, here's where it's so profound. How does Richardson come out? And as a couple games under his belt, might be has a little has some confidence in there. You know, Alec Pierce might be. You know, Pitts. Those jokers might feel a little. You know, have a little more confidence than when they start the season. Who knows? I hope it. Believe you me, I hope it does not go that way. But it is a very, very, very legitimate possibility. Legitimate. If you start 0-3 and you're welcoming LA, that LA game looks huge. And if you start 0-4 again, after all the offseason moves you made, after all the hype, all the this, all of that. Whew. Man, that is going to be, man. Now I hear you, Derek. I don't want to say it, but we got to keep it a buck. We got to keep it a buck. All right. And I believe you me, I feel Coach Eberflus knows it and feels it as well. They've got to come out and win that game against Tennessee. They have to. Have to win that game against Tennessee. They have to. Just the aesthetics alone. You get all these acquisitions, these draft picks, quarterback, the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator / D-line coach, and you lose game 1 at home. Big one. Big, big, big game. Stop jinxing them. I just said it's a possibility. Oh, man, Nomad in the house. Good morning, Papa. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Man. It does. And DC, that might be the reason we win. As a matter of fact, that is the reason I am praying our defense is able to give us a TD or set up a TD 30 yards, get the ball 30 yards away from pay dirt for our quarterback and our offense. I hope they're able to do that. All right, I hope that. And that's what we're planning on. We're planning on short fields. No pun intended, for Caleb. All right, with the punter, field position. I didn't even get to talk to you about the punter, field position. All right, getting short fields for Caleb is going to be paramount. Because what's going to happen is I shouldn't say that. As a defense, you do not want to continue to give offenses starting position inside plus territory. You don't want to do that because at some point it will bite you. It will come back and bite you. So we'll see. Alfred says, I think the Bears are going to catch a blessing when cuts start happening with other teams. I hope so. I hope so. I hope so. Yeah, those first six games, if the defense can carry them, which they have more than enough talent, let's do it. Let's do it. Man, 3 hours is come and gone. Wow, I want to thank my guest, Herb Howard, for coming on, talking Bears football with me. All right, we got to talk a little baseball, a little Tommy Pham. We previewed the Crosstown Classic, which starts tomorrow on the north side. All right, we got to talk a little Chicago Sky. All right, Caitlin Clark, Bears. Good day at the office, folks. Good day at the office, and you guys in the chat kept it lit. Yes, if he lives up to the hype, that is going to be an unbelievable weapon for the Bears. All right. So listen, I will be on later today at 3:00 Central Time, 3 Central. With Nomad, we have our daily Bears show. Okay. Don't forget, 12:15 here, Sydney and Lakina give you Second City Sports, another 2 hours of Chicago sports. All right, and then I'll be back on at 3:00 with Nomad talking Bears. I'm fired up. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. Had a good weekend. And, yeah, the weather in the Shire will be warm today. I like it. I like it a lot. What's the weather? What's the weather today? Let me see. The weather today is supposed to be, oh, snap, high of 83. Yes, sir, Bob. Beautiful day in the All right, folks. For everyone here at Sports Zone Chicago, Elliot Baez, our executive producer, Clarence Council, our social media guy, my co-host at Abstention, Maya Kai. I'm your boy, the Superback, Shawn Sierra. Tell the warden who said hi and bear down. I'm going to get her now. Going to get her at her CrossFit. Going to get her there now. All right, guys, I'll see you at 3:00 Central. All right. Make sure that you enjoy the rest of your day in the next couple hours until then. And like I said, tell your loved ones you love them. All right, let them know. Don't ever let that be. Don't ever let them worry about that. Let them always be sure that they know you love them and that you care about them. All right? So for everyone here at Sports Zone Chicago, I'm your boy, the Superback, Shawn Sierra. I will replay this tonight at 6:00. All righty, folks? Your boy, the Superback. I am out.